Dark origins of nursery rhymes and fairy tales. Once upon a time, bedtime stories weren't meant to comfort children, they were meant to warn them. Behind the cheerful rhymes and fairy tale castles are tales of famine, disease, execution, and sometimes something worse. These weren't moral lessons, they were survival guides in disguise. Tonight, we'll peel back the bright, happy veneer of childhood favorites and see what's really lurking beneath the lullabies. Here are 5 nursery rhymes and fairy tales with truly dark origins. 1. Ring Around the Rosie, the Dance of Death. Ring around the rosy, a pocketful of posies. A playful rhyme, sung in circles, ending in laughter as children fall to the ground. But once you look closer, that laughter starts to sound nervous. Many believe the rhyme dates back to the Black Death that ravaged Europe in the 14th century. Rosie refers to the red rash that appeared on infected victims. Posies were the herbs people carried to ward off the stench of death, or the disease itself. And when the line comes, ashes, ashes, we all fall down, it's not about tumbling for fun. It's about falling and never getting up again. Some historians argue the rhyme's connection to the plague is coincidental, but the imagery fits the era perfectly. Cities littered with rotting bodies, bell towers tolling for the dead, and children playing obliviously amid the chaos. Even the act of holding hands in a circle echoes how families might cling to one another for comfort as the world crumbled. Parents sang it to their children for centuries, perhaps as a strange way to make peace with mortality. A cheery game that once echoed through graveyards, a rhythm carrying the faint whisper of history's dead. 2. Hansel and Gretel, hunger, cannibalism, and survival. Nibble, nibble, little mouse, who is nibbling at my house? In the Brothers Grimm version, 2 starving children stumble into the home of a witch who fattens them up for dinner. But the story didn't come from imagination, it came from desperation. Europe's great famine of the 1300s forced many families into impossible choices. Abandoned children were not uncommon when food ran out. Some versions of the story even hint that Hansel and Gretel's parents were the real monsters, sending their children into the forest to die, preserving what little they had left. The witch's candy house stands as a grotesque warning. Sweetness and comfort can hide malice, and what seems safe can be deadly. In grim medieval villages, it was the unexpected and beautiful that often carried the greatest threat. The tale also preserved knowledge. It taught children how to survive, how to leave markers along a path, and how cleverness could outwit danger. The oven scene wasn't just a climax, it was an allegorical fire trial, a lesson about confronting death head-on. Through horror, children learned caution, cunning, and resilience, all wrapped in rhyme and storytelling. 3. Mary, Mary, quite contrary, the bloody garden. Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells, cockle shells, and pretty maids all in a row. Sounds harmless enough, unless you know your English history. Some believe this nursery rhyme isn't about a gentle gardener at all. It's about Queen Mary I of England, better known as Bloody Mary. Her garden referred to the graveyards that grew with each execution of Protestants. Silver bells and cockle shells weren't decorations, they were torture devices. The maids in a row were the victims of her bloody reign, lined up for the flames of religious persecution. The rhyme may have been a secret chant among terrified subjects, mocking their queen in hushed voices. Whispers of the monarch's cruelty spread quietly through villages. Parents may have repeated it to instill subtle fear, reminding children that authority could be lethal, and power was not always kind. Even today, reciting the rhyme echoes centuries of terror. Every pretty maid becomes a ghost in memory, every bell a warning. It's a reminder that nursery rhymes weren't always for laughter, they were coded lessons in survival under oppressive rule. 4. The Pied Piper of Hamelin, the Vanished Children. There once was a town overrun by rats. A stranger in colorful clothes appeared, promising salvation for a price. He played his flute, lured the rats to their doom, and when the townsfolk refused to pay, he took their children instead. It's a haunting tale, but it may also be a historical one. Records from Hamelin, Germany, date the event to June 26, 1284, when over 100 children vanished without explanation. Theories range from disease to migration, even to mass drowning. That Piper may have represented recruiters leading young settlers eastward, or death itself. The story's illustrations show a spectral figure, flute in hand, leading children away into a forest that swallows them whole. Even townsfolk at the time must have felt a sense of helpless awe at the inexplicable disappearance of an entire generation. By transforming tragedy into a story, Hamelin immortalized the event as a cautionary tale. A town that failed to honor promises to outsiders, and a melody that warns future generations, pay your debts, or the consequences will come for your children. It's a haunting reminder that sometimes the darkest lessons are woven into the songs we sing. 5. The Singing Bones, the tale that sings from the grave. This grim story tells of two brothers who set out to slay a dragon. One succeeds, but the other kills him in jealousy, hiding the body beneath a bridge. Later, a shepherd finds the bones and carves a flute from them. When he plays it, the flute sings, "My brother killed me, and here I lie." A haunting melody of guilt and revelation. It's one of the earliest examples of murder ballads, songs meant to expose hidden crimes through supernatural confession. Scholars believe the tale reflected real fears of betrayal within families, especially in times when inheritance meant life or death. Others say the story's darkness goes deeper, rooted in pre-Christian burial rites. Bones were believed to carry the voice of the dead, and when music arose from them, it became an instrument of justice. Every note is a warning, sins of greed and envy do not remain buried. The tale merges folklore with ritual, ensuring that death and wrongdoing sing on long after flesh has gone. The line between legend and ritual blurred, leaving us with a song that refuses to stay buried. And there you have it! 5 childhood tales that might make you think twice before turning out the lights. From plague rhymes to cannibal witches, royal executions, vanishing children, and haunted bones, these stories weren't meant to comfort, but to warn. So, which of these stories do you think wasn't quite true? Leave your guess in the comments, if you dare. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time for more creepy history.